What if I told you that bias in social media is every bit as prevalent as it is in mainstream or traditional media? That's right. So, in addition to the political divides that we have in mainstream media, difference between more liberal outlets such as MS Now or formerly MSNBC, and Fox News on the right, and Newsmax also on the right. Um, Social media has these biases too, and that's just limited to the particular chains aforementioned. I'm going to present to you a social media channel with a very simple name. It's simply called The Military Show, which leads one to believe that it's about, militaries and things like that in the world. To some extent, it is, but it does have a pro Ukrainian bias or an anti Russian bias, either way, no matter how you dice that. That is the type of content this channel has. I kind of have an internal joke, personal joke about this one, and that is in the 4 years that they've been covering the war between Russia and Ukraine, if you had believed them the entire 4 years, by this point, Ukraine should have pushed Russia all the way to the Bering Sea, all the way to the eastern coast of the country, all the way across the Russian mainland, thrown them into the Bering Sea, and Putin would have been fished out by the crew on Deadliest Catch, and Northwestern and Sick Hansen would be pulling him out of the Bering Sea. That may sound ridiculous, but if you check this channel out for any period of time, you'll see what I'm trying to say. You know, just because it's on social media or YouTube doesn't mean it's an unbiased source. In fact, those channels tend to be some of the most biased sources of information out there, and this is just another example. Most channels have a very slanted view of things. In the gender wars and in personal relationships, I've presented Emily King's channel before as well. Basically, kissing the ground that men walk on, and basically painting all women as materialistic, greedy, and arrogant. Now, there are some real concerns as far as men is concerned. I have been in this position myself. You know, I have been falsely accused before simply because I'm not your typical Chad. But this is where a lot of the red pill channels get their information from as well. So they pull their material from Emily's channel and others like hers, which are basically anti-woman. And why do channels like this exist? Well, again, as I always say, follow the money. There are many men out there who will like to throw pity parties for themselves, and these channels validate their pity. And again, most things in this world are a lot more complicated, a lot more nuanced than Emily King's channel or the Military Show's channel. Again, you know, I root for Ukraine all the time because they were invaded to begin with in 2022. Their own sovereignty was attacked, and they were bullied around by a much larger military than their own. Now, ever since that point, with all the help that they've received, their innovation has been some of the best in the world. Their drone game is now probably the best in the world, to the point where the United States now wants to buy some of it. Because that technology is also very cheap to manufacture. You know, and I mean, again, in social media, Vladimir Putin has been trying to create or foment strife within the American society. He has stated as much in the past that he would prefer to do that. And so he has his own channels And there are other pro-Russian social media outlets out there that present the opposite. But again, follow the money. Both extremes, obviously, there's a lot of money to be had, and a lot of people will, on both sides, will support things. Same goes for the conservative versus liberal divide over here in the United States. So anyhow, be careful with your social media. Watch it very carefully. Watch a channel. You'll want to watch more than one video, obviously. And I would just do what I did with some of these and just spot trends. I want my information to be as impartial as possible. And these are all examples of channels that are not impartial. So be careful. Watch your details. Be very observant. Pick out patterns if you can, and determine if it's a trustworthy source or not. None of these aforementioned ones that I've mentioned are what I would call trustworthy. And again, I definitely have my side in the Russia-Ukraine war. I'm definitely pro-Ukrainian because they were attacked, but I want my information to be impartial as well. And I see extreme bias on both sides. So there it is. What if I told you that media bias extends to social media and is not just part of traditional media? So that's it for tonight. I will see you guys later. And I'll just say it again. Peace out, homies.